Today we're going to look at the Fisher Paykel HC500 heated humidifier. This is a humidifier that is approved for use for tracheostomy patients, used for a number of different applications for trach humidity. Today we have it attached to a Trilogy 100 ventilator, and I just wanted to go over the operation and maybe a couple of troubleshooting tips on problems that may occur with the machine. The basic operation of it when it's all hooked up is just simply on and off with the power switch right here. The power switch is under a plastic cover and it's a rocker switch. Hit the top of it and the machine, the heater will start. When it comes on, you're not going to see a lot of action with the lights or anything. The lights flash on and most of them shut off. All you should have left back on are the power light and the heated wire light. Those are the two important things we need to have on for the device. The adjustment on the front of the machine for the temperature is right here. So with all humidity devices, more heat means more humidity to the patient. So what we shoot for is turning this dial so that we have it set for optimum temperature of 37 Celsius, which is body temp. So that would be the best. At times, we might turn it down a little bit just for less condensation in the tubing if there's too much humidity. But otherwise, 37 is the optimum temperature that we're shooting for. Remember, physiologically with the patient, we're just looking for secretions that are thin enough to easily suction out. If they have trouble with real thick secretions, we may need to increase the heat. The temperature range on the unit is anywhere from 34 up to 39 degrees Celsius. So we've got a 5-degree range there to work with. So we'll set it at 37 and there we go. So we've got a couple of alarms on the machine if we do have trouble, and there's an alarm silence button right here. Now that alarm silence button will also show us, if we push on that, it'll show us the current temperature that the unit is sensing proximal to the patient. So right now, of course, it's not coming up. We don't have water in it, and the Trilogy is not on and running, so it's just sitting there down at 23. But that's the operation. The alarms that we can get on it are connector and temperature. There's just those two categories. And the temperature alarm, probably the least common, least troublesome anyway. Temperature can come on if we lose water or if we run out of water in the chamber. Maybe we don't have the blower going with the trach humidity, or the Trilogy is not running at the time. We just forgot to turn the heated humidifier off. That'll cause a temperature alarm. Or if there's a real malfunction with the machine, it's designed to let us know it's not making temperature. So diagnosing the problem, typically when we run into diagnosing, we've got a connector alarm right here. And the connector can be one of usually three things that can occur. Number one, the heated wire adapter button. Okay, so if we've got the heated wire on like we should with the power light, everything's working good. Sometimes this gets turned off inadvertently and we get an alarm. And you can see that on the left there gives us a connector alarm. So that's a real easy thing to connect. So always check that first, because that's the easiest thing to connect or correct, and the easiest thing to accidentally hit to turn off. The other things that could happen are either the temperature probe or the heated wire. All right. So these are connected on the side also, and you can see if either one of these are disconnected, here's the heated wire adapter, or the temperature probe, either one of them are going to give us alarms. And that's pretty obvious that they're disconnected. The other disconnection can occur here at the other end of the heated wire adapter, where it's actually connected to the tube circuit itself. So those are easy to fix and usually pretty obvious because you can see that they're disconnected. The problem runs into breakage in the wires that we can't see. So when this is used over and over again, and these wires, especially at the corners here, they get bent and eventually they break on the inside, but we can't see them. So the easiest thing to do to try to troubleshoot is to exchange them, and we'll just go through it step by step, starting with the most common problem. The most common problem is this heated wire adapter. Now, I'm sorry, this is the temperature probe. The temperature probe runs from the side of the machine, and then it has a sensor right here, and then it has another sensor all the way at the end of the circuit here, proximal to the patient. So these are involved in sensing the temperature, and it acts as a thermostat to turn on and off the heater to maintain the proper temperature. So the easiest thing to do, if we suspect, and usually we'll start with this one because this is the most common problem, is to start by exchanging it. Now the easiest thing to do that I would recommend, rather than changing the whole temperature probe wire, is to just take a new one out of the box like this and take that end and plug it into the side. You don't have to take it out of the circuit to start with. That'll save you some time. And if you find that doing that corrects the problem, now you can go ahead and change the entire wire. But if that was not the problem, we would move on to the next possibility, which would be the heated wire adapter. So the heated wire adapter, that you would just simply remove, grab a new one, and place that in the circuit like that. And of course that would stop the alarm if that was the issue. So now, what do we do if we've exchanged that and it's still alarming? Connector. We've still got a connector alarm. That would be this wire. So remember, we've got the temperature probe, the heated wire adapter, but then there's also the wire that runs all the way through this circuit. So I've even seen brand new circuits where the wire was damaged and caused a problem. So again, rather than changing the entire circuit, just grab a new one and open it up enough so you can get that white connector out, and then just plug it in. Rather than changing the circuit first, just try plugging in the new one. And if that corrects the problem, then you know to go ahead and change the entire circuit. So going by those things, that should really help you diagnose the problem and fix any alarms that you might get on the HC500. I hope that was helpful.